subscribe to our YouTube channel, Joy Learning TV.
Hello, welcome my lovely viewers to another edition of Joy Learning on Junior High School for you students at home. Today, our topic is population for JHS 1 or B7. Basic 7. Now the strand is family life and the substrand is population. Now let's run through the indicators or examples. After the lesson or after this learning or after learning the substrand, viewers will be able to 1. Explain the concept population. Examine the structure of Ghana's population. Discuss how population in Ghana has changed in recent times and compare Ghana's population growth with that of some other countries in Africa. Again, discuss the factors influencing population growth. That is birth rates, death rates, and migration. Lastly, investigate the causes of the following in Ghana: high birth rates and high death rates. Good. As I always tell you, take your notepads, your pens, and let's write down these keywords or vocabularies. So the vocabulary for today is birth rate, population, underpopulation, overpopulation, census, migration, percentage, family, age group, death rates, and population growth. Let's go over it again. Keywords: birth rates, population, underpopulation, overpopulation, census, migration, percentage, family, age group, death rates, and population growth. Right. Write them down quickly. I'll give you 2 minutes to write them down. Wow. Some of you are very smart. The 2 minutes was just too much for you because somebody has just prompted me that he is done writing the words down. That shows that you are really serious with what you are learning. Right, so that's 2 people have just prompted me that they have finished. So I'll just give you 1 second and that is gone. Now, so our topic for today is population. Good. So what is population? The concept population. Population refers to the number of people living in a specific geographical area at a specific time. So whilst I stand here right now, myself and all the people around me, the crew members, the production team, and whatever, that's the population of the place at this particular time, this specific time. You understand? So if you are watching me in the market, in your mother's shop, that means that the number of people in the market area where you find yourself is the what? The population of that place at that specific time in that geographical area. Now let's look at the meaning of the word or the concept population census. It is an official enumeration of all persons in a country at a specified time. So the other one is specific geographic area, and this one is specified time. So the difference here is that one is people living in that geographical area. So people of maybe a group, an area, let's say Jamestown or Burma Camp or Edum in Kumasi or Ahwe in Ho or Takrady in the Western region. So that is a specific geographical area. And then the census is official enumeration. When we talk about enumeration, we are talking about counting, taking certain details, data, and others of a person in a country. So that means that the whole of Ghana is the census, but the population is specific geographical area, right? Now let's look at the picture on our screen. What do you see? Is this population census or population? Yes, you are right. It is population because this is a group of people in a market, a geographical area. They are in the market and they are trading. So this is a place where you can count and then write that number of people in the market were this amount, or total the number of persons were 6, 8, 10 or whatever. And let's look at the next picture on the screen. Yes, the next picture is what? A group of people at the stadium. Look at the number of people there. So that one is also what? Population of number of what? Spectators at the football sports stadium. Are you okay with me? Now another picture again. This is a picture of a classroom. So you can see JHS students in a classroom. So this is the number of population in that geographical area, which is a school. So the classroom, the number of people there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. So the teacher is also part. It's also what? The population of a school. The same here too. Population of students in a classroom. So we can get a data from this. Population of people at the stadium, population of people in the marketplace, population of people in the classroom, and then we can get a data from it. Now let's look at this picture. Do you remember some people visiting your homes last year? They knocked on your doors and then they told you that I'm the census officer. I'm here to count you. I'm here to enumerate you. Yes. So this is a picture of someone who was in the act of what? Enumerating the people in Ghana to get the data of number of persons living and dead in the country. Importance of population. Let's look at the importance of population. It helps the government to obtain adequate and relevant statistics to form an essential basis for planning. Yes, why do we say that? The statistics or the data, the numbers that we get, or the person who does the census gets for the population is used for planning. For example, in your home, if you have one place of one bathroom and you are about 16 people, what happens there? Means that there will be crash, pressure will be there. So you see that your daddy will say, let me create another bathroom and I'll name this place male and I'll name this place female, so that each and every person, there will be ease there. So that's what the government uses the data, statistics data, for planning. Okay. 2, it helps us to know whether the population is increasing or decreasing. 3, the level of education is also known, because sometimes you remember when they were asking your details, they ask you, which class are you in? When did you finish school? And you have to give all those data so that they will use them for policy analysis Are you okay? They'll use them to project. They'll use them. Let me calm down a little with my vocabulary. They'll use them to envisage policies for the nation. Somebody is also saying, Madam, what is envisage? Yes, to project or to make pilot programs to see how best Ghana, we can use the funds to develop the nation. Good. 4, age composition is known. So during this, the census or population census, you see that you were able to get the age range of people. Let's say, for example, people who were born to 18 years. They know there are maybe 35 million people. And then infant population, or 18 years to 65 years. These are the working class, working population. And then 65 years and above, that's the aged population. So all these things are important on population. 5, it helps the government to make policies. Remember, I just said that, policies. Now let's look at the type of population. We have overpopulation and underpopulation. I'm sure you understand when we talk about over, something is over. When you are filling a bucket of water and it gets to the brim, what happens? Overflow. The whole place will be flooded. So that means that human beings are also like that. When we are more, there's over. So we say overpopulation is the number of people that are more than the available essential resources for survival, such as transport, water, food, and social amenities. Let's look at transport. Do you remember sometimes people used to say overload? Yes, because the number of people, seats for the vehicle is maybe, let's say, 5. And the front seat will take like 5 people, and the back seats will take like 10 people, overload, and the car suffers. So it's overpopulation. Now, let's look at underpopulation. Underpopulation is when too few people use all the resources of an area to maximum efficiency. So in your school, if you have only one washroom and the whole school is using it, and the school is just a few, what happens? Everybody's able to go there more than 3 times, 4 times a day. But if there's overpopulation in your school and the washroom is only 2, just imagine. People have to be standing behind and be saying, hey, hurry up, you see, because there's more people in the school and the washroom is less. Now, this is a picture of overpopulation. Look at the people there. I'm sure this place is Mokola Market in Accra. A lot of people. Sometimes you can't even get place to step, to move, because the people are many there, especially during festive occasion. It's wonderful when you get to see people there shopping, right? So overpopulation. This is another picture which depicts underpopulation. What do you see? You see the houses are what? Scattered. Yeah, when you move from one house, you can walk for a length of time before you move to another house. It's just like places where the buildings are crammed together. Another time we'll learn about layouts, and so we'll discuss the type of settlement. So this type of settlement is not densely populated at all. It is underpopulated. An environment like this is very good because you can run around and do a lot of things and you're so excited. But when the place is overpopulated, whoa, you can imagine that you can't even get a way out when you are even driving through. And this is what happens sometimes when there's fire is gutted in some houses and the fire service cannot even get through because the place is densely populated and the buildings are all together, right? Now let's look at how Ghana's population has changed over the years, right? So Ghana's population census started in 1891. Are you aware of that? So take note of that. 1891. And the population numbers, figures are as follows. 1901, you can see the population figures there. 1911, 1911, then 1921, then 1931. Wow. And then 1948. All this time, some people were born, so they were counted. Right. Then 1960. 1960. The population figures right there on your screen. Take note of them. 1970, another population census, 10 years interval. 10 years interval. But some of them, you could see that it wasn't actually 10 years because there were maybe certain mishaps that happened. But if you look at them, you could see some of them were 10 years interval. You see 1911, 1921, then 1931 to 1948. You could see that it wasn't 10 years. So 1960 and then 1970 was a 10-year. So that is it. 1960 and 1970, 10 years. Then from 1970, it went straight to 1984. 1984. And that one too, something happened. I'm sure maybe because of finance and others. When we talk about finance, there was no funds to support the census procedure, so it couldn't go. I'm very sure for that. I'm sure because everything is funded by what? Money. And if there's no money, it can't be done. So from 1984, we moved straight down to 2000, the 2000 census. Yes, I'm sure some of you were babies. Some too were 2 years, and some too were yet to be born. Right. Then from 2000 was 2010. So you see the interval, 10 years. 10 years, 2010. Then from 2010, it should have gone to 2020. What happened? You see something happened there. Almighty COVID. The COVID came to scare us. And so it was done. It moved to 2021. So as I speak now, the population of Ghana is 31,732,129 persons that are living in Ghana. Wow, that's a lot of people. So the facilities that we have, can it contain? Well, let's see what the government does. Now let's look at the population in double maxima. The population is expected to double in about 23 years. But this time, it's not like that. It's doubling every minute, every hour, every year. The population is just going up, up, up. Let's look at the age structure. How many old people we have and young people we have. Ghana's population is described as young and fast growing. This means that children are more than the aged and the working force. So that means that the youth, they are more than the aged. But very soon the youth will also join the growing age. That's the adults. And so more people will be giving birth again. So it will be the same thing. You understand? It will be the same thing. Now let's look at the distribution of Ghana's population as at the year 2000 census in terms of percentage. So we'll take 0 to 14 years. 0 to 14 years. So the percentage was 46.7%. Then 15 to 29 years, we have 26.2%. And then 30 to 44 years was 14.7% in terms of percentage. Then 45 years to 59 year bracket was 8.1%. So you can see that from that age going, the percentage of people or the number of people was what? Dwindling. It was just coming down. Then 60 years and above, that's the grandmas and others, is 4.6%. So you can see that 0 to 14 years, the percentage is big. If you are to draw a pie chart, you see that the percentage is very, very big. And then 15 to 29 too is 26%. And that one too will take a lot of percentage. Now let's look at the comparison of growth rates in Africa. The comparison. So we are comparing. So ranking growth rates South Sudan. So South Sudan annual growth rate. So look at Angola, Malawi, Burundi, Uganda, Niger, Mali. So that's the annual growth rate. So you can see that some people, their growth rate is very slow. Some people's growth rates are also just skyrocketing, just moving up, 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 up. So we'll see the one that is moving very up in Africa. Let's move on. Burkina Faso, can you see the annual growth rate? 3.00. Zambia, 2.93. Ethiopia, Tanzania, Benin, Togo. See, Togo is 2.64. 2.64. That's our neighboring sister country, Togo. Guinea, 2.61. Cameroon, yeah, and Liberia. So that's Liberia on your screen. Then Mozambique, 2.46. Egypt too is not bad, 2.45. So Mozambique is ahead of. Then Rwanda, 2.45. Then Equatorial Guinea, 2.44. Nigeria, 2.43. Madagascar, 2.40. Senegal follows. Sierra Leone, DR Congo, and then Ghana. Let's look at Ghana. Wow. So Ghana's annual growth annually is 2.17. 2.17. So just imagine where we are going to. A time will come, we will not even have space to put our legs when we are walking, because a lot of people that will be giving birth to. But it's good to give birth anyway, but in moderation. Now let's look at population growth. Population growth is the increase or decrease of a country's population at a given time period. Population growth is equal to birth minus death. Birth minus death plus immigration minus immigration. This is mathematics. Let's take it again. Population growth. So in your room where your mommy and daddy is, see that your sister, you are there, and they are giving birth to somebody and giving birth to somebody. So you are looking at the growth of the population in your room, in your household. So it is what? Population growth is equal to birth minus death plus immigration, those who are coming in, minus emigration will give you population growth. I wish I could get some figures so that we could do a little bit of calculation. But then the next lesson in population, we'll be doing calculation. Population growth rate. Population growth rate is a percentage increase or decrease of a country's population in a given period. So in a given period, the growth rate, let's say last year was 200 people. The next year, maybe 300. So what's the interval? So it's 100. Are you okay? The increase could be positive or negative or zero. Are you okay? Now that's a picture on your screen showing population growth. So you see this man here. Let's name him Mr. Mensah, or let's name him Bismarck. So Bismarck is a single person living in one room, and later on, Bismarck decided to bring, let's say, the ICT teacher, say Ike, to come and join him. Then brought Iremi Madam. So there are three here. You can see them. And when these people married, they started replicating. So Iremi Madam has given birth to his children. ICT teacher, the same. And then say Bismarck, the science teacher too, is right there. Okay, some Oaks, the math teacher is right there. And see, they are just producing. So that's the growth rate. So you see that a lot of people they are growing in numbers. Now let's look at the factors influencing population growth. Birth rate is one. So birth rate is the number of birth per thousand of the population. The number of birth per thousand of the population. If it increases, there will be high population. And if the birth rate reduces, there will be low population. This is simple. This is just simple. Are you okay? So the more they give birth to people, the more the people become. The less birth, the population reduces. That is birth rate. So that's a picture of birth. Beautiful babies in their glass courts. They welcome into the world. So they have added up to the birth rate to increase the population. Now let's look at this picture too. This is a beautiful African traditional woman who has given birth to more than 10 children. He's so excited. What do you think will happen to her? The people are more than the facilities at home. So there'll be pressure on her. But that's her choice anyway. But I know when you go to school and you are educated, you will not do this. Because some people take delight in giving birth to a lot of children. And they take pride in it. Because there is something we'll be learning about as we go down. They want something from their husbands. We'll see what it is. Death rates. Death rates. I'm so excited here. Not really about the death rate, but about the birth rate of the woman I just spoke about. That's why you see me smiling. Yes, some people take delight in that. Let's look at death rate. It is also called mortality rate. It is the number of deaths per thousand of the population. If many people die, there will be low population growth. But it's not good for people to die anyway. But it's part of population. We have to learn it. So when people die more, what happens? The population growth goes down, and when a few people die, what happens? There is what? High population. There will be high population growth when less people die. Now let's look at the picture again. This is a picture during the COVID. Yes. So we are just assuming that this happened in Ghana. In America, so that a lot of people died during the COVID. The COVID just swept a lot of human beings. So these are coffins of dead people that could not survive during the COVID. So there's a picture showing. And so definitely the population there will dwindle, will come down. Good. I didn't want to talk much about the death rates, but that's it. So death rates reduces the number of people in every given geographical area. Now let's look at migration. What is migration? It is the movement of people from one place to another. Those who come into the country are called immigrants, while those who go out of the country are called emigrants. So right now in your house, you are in Ghana, so you are a Ghanaian. But the moment somebody travels from another country into your home, the person is what? An immigrant. So a Liberian in Ghana, a Nigerian in Ghana is what? An immigrant. Now, if your daddy or your mom or your auntie or your grandmom is not in the country, in Ghana, and is outside Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Congo, Liberia, US, Dubai, or wherever, now that person is an immigrant. Are you okay? So the word here is immigrants, those coming in, and then emigrants, those going out. So all the Ghanaians who are outside there are what? They are all emigrants. If more people go out of the country, there will be low population growth. Whilst if more people come into the country, there will be high population growth. So let's look at the picture of migration. So you can see the people migrating from one place to another. So you can migrate from your house to another region. But moving from Kotobabi to La Paz is not migration. But migration is taking all your belonging, your things. And migration can be in so many types. War can even let people migrate. Remember the Liberian War that made most of the Liberians migrate from Liberia to Ghana, and they settled where? You are right, Budumbram. That's in Gomoa, Budumbram, in the central region of Ghana. So these people came because of what? War. But you can migrate from here to US. Yes. And so you will be an immigrant. Now let's look at causes of high population growth rate in Ghana. Some of the causes. High birth rate is one. There is high birth rate in Ghana. Yes, of course, there is. This is due to high fertility rate of 4.5 children per woman. Wow. That's great. Early marriages and teenage pregnancies are also part of it. All these increases Ghana's population, because during the last recent census, we realized that most youth were just doubling up in giving birth. I don't know why. We'll have to find out. As a social studies student, that's the first question for you. Find out why there is high birth rate among teenage girls. And so the next time, I'll give you where to send your answers to. Then I will mark and then send your scripts back to you through the same channel. Low death rates. The death rate in Ghana is low due to improved health facilities and others. This increases Ghana's population. Low death rates when there is what? Improved health facilities like nurses visiting rural settings, rural areas, and educating the people, giving them medication. It will improve their health, so that they'll prevent themselves from dying. There are certain ailments that you don't need to die out of it because of ignorance. So we have learned that when there is improved health facilities, it helps the people in the neighborhood to improve their healthy lifestyles. Now let's look at this. Cheap compounds. That's another good initiative by the predecessor of one of the political parties. That's the ex-president Dramani Mahama. He built most of the cheap compounds to improve health facility. That's a kudos for him. He did very well on that. Now you can see some nurses and students. Also, the nurses checking the students, checking the students' blood pressure and helping them to be healthy in their various schools. Now let's look at the next point, which is migration inflows. Ghana is a peaceful nation, and this has caused a lot of immigrants inflows into the country. Ghana hosts a lot of refugees from many countries in Africa. Only few of Ghanaians travel abroad. Yes, that's true. Only few of them travel abroad. This increases Ghana's population. I told you about the Liberian refugees that came to Ghana. I can see some Somalians and others around too. They also increase the population. So this is a picture of a migration inflow. So you can see these people are what? People from different countries with their countries' flags on top of their heads. They are all immigrants inflow. Another cause of high birth rate in Ghana is early marriages. Early marriages is a factor that results in high birth rates in our communities and in the nation. When a girl child is forced by certain circumstances to marry instead of going to school or to learn a trade, she is more likely to give birth to many children because of what? Ignorance. So we say ignoramus. If you are ignorant, people will just take advantage of you and you turn into a mockery in society. Religious and cultural factors associated with childbirth. Yes. Why do we say so? A society that sees children as a source of prestige, source of wealth and blessing, always has increase in birth rates. Some people believe that it is said in the Bible that so because of that, a lot of parents have decided to do what? To give birth to a number of people in their homes, and it's a problem now anyway. So we are looking at population, why religious and cultural factors associated with childbirth also enhances what? High population growth. In some cultures in Ghana, there's a traditional belief that some women will want to give birth to as many children to be given recognition associated thereof. Why do we say that? Remember, I told you that I'll be telling you about a story. For example, some women always want to collect and be awarded what is called Bedugwan. Hey, this Bedugwan is what? It's a name given to a woman, a traditional woman who gives birth to 10 children. So if somebody is called Bedu, that means that the person is the 10th child of that person. Wonderful. That woman is great, giving birth to 10 children. And when that child, the 10th child comes, then a goat or a sheep is given to the woman. So it's a challenge in certain traditional cultures. Low level of education in the country. When many people become educated, they acquire knowledge on population exploitation, family planning. Yes, they use the family planning, which guides them in their productive rights. This situation where the educated person or levels are low inclined give birth to many children as a prestige. We have discussed that already. High fertility rates also causes high birth rates. When fertility rates, in terms of number of children one wants to give birth, is high, there is probability that females in Ghana want to give birth to 6 children each. This is going to have an effect on the birth in the country. Seeing children as a source of social and security support causes high birth rates too. Social and security factors such as polygamy, seeing children as a source of support as old age, source of labor on the farm, and source of prestige is likely to trigger higher birth rates in the country. When people think they have to give birth so that their children will be used as labor, also that's what increases high birth rates. Now let's look at the causes of high death rates. Unavailability of medical facilities is a cause of high birth rate. We discussed that. We said that when there's no improved health facility, people die because there's no attention from any doctor to help them. Now let's look at unavailability of facilities, medical doctors, which in most cases are absent, lead to increase in death rates in most communities. The occurrence of disaster is a leading cause of high death rates in Ghana. Yes, so disasters, that's natural and human, like floods, accidents, outbreaks of pandemic, etc., also do what? Leads to loss of life. For example, is COVID-19 that took a lot of life were claimed across the globe. Let's look at the pictures here. So this is flooding. It's part of what? The examples that we just mentioned. This is what? You can see it's an earthquake. So a lot of people have died. Are you okay with the pictures? Now, I'm sure you have just mentioned what has happened here in the picture. Fire outbreak. Fire all over has gutted the community. Now, the level of economic development has a hand in high death rates in the country. The high rate of death in Ghana is as a result of low economic development. Because of low development, most people are living in poverty and are not able to have a balanced diet. Sure, that's very true. Look at this picture here. That's a man, the wife is asking her for money and she's saying there's no money. So because of this, they cannot take balanced diet. And so all these food groups here, they cannot eat. And you see the children are so sad. And this can lead to what? Death if you don't eat well. You get malnourished. Now, let's look at some of the effects of high population growth rate in Ghana. Effects. There is poor maternal and child health. Mothers who give birth to many children suffer from waist pains and other diseases. Children can also suffer from sicknesses such as kwashiorkor. There is also integration of family units. The family size becomes so large that some members move away to create different families elsewhere. There is also a high dependency burden on the family since parents have to cater for more children. You know that if there's more children at home, then more problems. So look at the picture. A young girl that has given birth, what will happen to her? Can't take care of the child. And so the child will end up getting malnourished and then get a disease called kwashiorkor. Good. Now let's look at our review questions for the day. Well, this is the place that most of you really enjoy, and I enjoy them too when I give you questions and you're able to answer it. Somebody has even started answering it already. That's good. Now let's look at the first question. Explain the following concepts. 1. Birth rate. 2. Death rate. And 3. Migration. Remember migration, immigrants, emigrants. Let's go. Let's see. Wow. Some of you are very smart. Somebody has just prompted me with the first one, birth rate. Let's see whether he's right. Birth rate It is the number of births per 1,000 of a population. Yes, he's right. If the population increases, then there will be high population growth. But if the population rate reduces, then there will be low population growth. You are very right. You are doing very well. Very, very well. Now let's look at death rate. Death rate. Mortality rate is also another name for death rate. It is the number of deaths per 1,000 of a population. So it's the vice versa of it. For example, when more people die, there will be low population growth. And if few people die, there will be high population growth. Migration or migration. Migration. Migration is simply the movement of people from one place to another. These people can be called immigrants or emigrants. So that's the review question. I'm sure you enjoyed it very much. So now we'll go to the main part where you'll be doing my assignment for me. And then you send them to your normal social media handle, which is the Joy Learning social media handle on Joy TV. And so I will mark them and send the answers back to you. Assignment time. Assignment time. Quickly take your exercise book. I told you to create one exercise book for Joy Learning Social Studies. Yes, because I can pop into your school anytime and then call for them. And the one that brings it from the first day of the topics that I have taught, the person will have a prize from me. Which school am I coming first? Yes, your school. Which school is that? It's going to be between me and you. When you send the answers to me, then I will know which school I'm coming to. So let's look at the assignments for the day. Explain the term population. Explain the following: population growth, and then population growth rates. Question number 2, examine 2 effects of high birth rates. And then lastly, draw a poster to educate members of your community on the high effect of high birth rates. Until then, it's a bye-bye from me, your social studies facilitator, Anita Asari. It's a bye.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Joy Learning TV.